is using a browser and it's hard for them to see, so they might have a browser that reads the code or the text to them, then that would be a problem because it wouldn't like fit into the reader. Or if they have some software on their browser that like changes the contrast or changes the colors so that they could see better, that will not be affected. So you want to have all of your information in the right place, and everything tagged properly so that things can be adjusted and reformatted as needed. Okay, so the body is the place we've defined for HTML to put content, and the head is the place that we've defined to put code. Okay, let's see what is the next thing that it asks. Yes, okay, so we're looking at some specific tags, including the paragraph tag. So that's this one with the P. And then these header tags. So let's put some in. So these header tags are kind of interesting to me. There was okay, we want to close it, make sure that it's closed. There was a separation of form and content in the HTML world at some point around, maybe, I'm not entirely sure, definitely not HTML1. HTML1, when it was created, it was doing everything. It was showing the form and the content and like animating and changing colors, like everything that happened on a web page, HTML1 was doing. But then as we progressed and developed and separated our, like refined our code bases and tried to like clarify everything that's going on, we have CSS taking care of the visual side of things and HTML taking care of just the content. But this H1 tag, it's like a hierarchical tag. It means that we have a header that is more important, or a title that's more important than another title. So the H2 is our subtitle. But it's also a visual tag. H1 is going to be bigger and H2 is going to be smaller. So it's kind of an interesting reflection on the things that we've inherited from HTML1, that it's still not purely content. If it was purely content, we would have like maybe a div tag instead. So div is the tag that stands for a division, I guess, or like a section. And that doesn't tell us if this is a title or whatever. Like we could put whatever in here. It's just a section. So that would be pure content. Whereas like H1 it's telling us something about hierarchy and about attention. Okay. So what should I write here? Do we have instructions? Background and interests. Okay, cool. I love lasers. How about that? Here are some red ones I made. That'll be my autobiographical thing that I show here. And let's see what it looks like. So we go back to CyberDuck. We re-upload our index. You see the folder is highlighting, the me folder is highlighting when I drop that in. Now it asks me to overwrite, and here's our two headers. One is greater than the other. And the next thing it's asking about is a paragraph tag. So, all right, this project was made out of 48 crossbeam lasers and 12 the lasers were arranged in a circular fashion in the middle of the space. So now I'm going beyond my visible text field here, and that's inconvenient for me to read. So I'm going to hit return and keep typing here, but when the code is rendered by the browser, you're not actually going to see any return happening over here. And I'll show you what that means. Okay, so they're arranged in the middle of the space, and the crossbeam ones. Okay, this is just so that I don't bore you watching me type this out. I'm going to copy and paste this 3 times so it takes up a bunch of space. And you can see I have like a space here on line 17. I have another space here on line 21. I hit return a bunch of times here, but when I upload, you see that none of that matters. So the way that the browser interprets HTML code is it just really uses these tags. So this tag is telling the browser that everything in here is a paragraph, and the fact that I made a return in a space here is not going to be interpreted. And you can see the length of the paragraph depends on the width of the browser. So the fact that I hit return after the first lasers period doesn't matter to it. Okay. Next thing, are there any questions? Did everyone do this? Okay. So let's link up. Oh, yay, thumbs up. Thank you. Let's link up to our other files, our cat.html and our dog, or in my case, my cat and my dog HTML. So I'm going to have some links at the bottom. Why not? And we could use this UL structure, unordered list structure, that we encountered in the last assignment. So I'm copying and pasting code. I memorized it, but I'm copying and pasting code essentially from our last assignment, which is fine. Okay, so I know I have 3 other files in there, so I'm going to do this 3 times. And I'm going to write my file address. Cool. The web is made up of hyperlinks. That is kind of like the most basic building block of the web. And if you remember that map of the internet project that I showed you, so you can see all of these connections between these little circles, the reason that they're together is because of the hyperlinks that connect these websites together. That's what this map is representing. It's representing the relative proximity and relationship of these websites because they reference each other. And also the relative size. So Google has links to everything online, not everything, but almost everything online. And so it's like this giant circle, and like everything is kind of like hanging out around it because it's also linked to it. So we're going to make some hyperlinks. I think I saved this. Let's see what it looks like.
Can you only link things that are in the same folder?
No, you can link anything. And I will show you how to do that. Okay, so I wrote this out. So these links aren't working. It's the correct name, but they're not buttons. I can't press them. We're not going to get anywhere. So let's turn them into links. And the way that we make a link is with this tag A. And I'm not sure what the A stands for. Okay, so we can put that around all of our names, and then this is the kind of attribute, I guess, that we give this tag, which is, I'm guessing the H is like hyperlink and the ref is reference. So it wants to know the actual reference of the place we're going to. So now we can put in parentheses the name of the file. So we're giving it the path to the information of like cat HTML. So the name of the file goes in here. And then we actually don't need to, this is just the display text. So we actually don't need to show HTML over there. In fact, this could even probably be like it could be a little emoji of a cat and it'll like still work. Okay. So here we're going to do the same thing for dog. And here we're going to do the same thing for bird. Oops. And then I'll just add one more to say example lasers. So yeah. Here is the address, the Wikipedia address for lasers. And it starts with this HTTP S secured :/en.wikipedia.org. So we're in the English subsection of wikipedia.org, and then we're in the wiki folder. So maybe they have like a scripts folder or something else, and then we're on the laser folder, which describes the word laser. So we're gonna copy this entire address. This is an absolute address. It starts from like the website's domain, and then it goes to the folder that's in there, and it's online live. So we'll put that in there, and there we go. But this, because this is in the same folder as our index.html file, we don't need to write the whole, like the entire internet address for this page, although we could write we could write it out like this. So we know that we're on I6 at sims.nyu.edu. we know that we're in our own personal NetID folder, in the folder called me, and there's a file called bird there.